people getting into relationships that they work with. And, is it more common than we think? And should it be looked down upon like it is? Especially from people that are in a position of power.
What was the first part of that, Anton?
Should it be looked down upon? I don't remember what the first part was that I said, but um just
Right.
getting involved with people in relationships.
I mean, there's a reason why it's a problem, especially if this is your subordinate. I mean, the military has a whole like process for that because you like put people's lives in danger sometimes, depending on the job, or like you
They
can't.
be fucking in the military.
I'm not saying that they don't.
Heavy.
Saying that there are rules and processes in place for that, especially for somebody who you are supervising.
They be getting around all that shit.
Again, not saying that you don't.
I think it happens all the time.
Yeah, just like pilots, they be
There be what, Slimmy?
Honestly, I think that everybody is in a not everybody. I think that most people are or have been in relationships with people that they're in close proximity with as far as what they work with.
I agree.
Like I don't think it's that far removed to think that politicians talk to other people that are around them, staffers, people that work for them, assistants, all of that stuff. I think that there's a lot of fraternizing that goes unreported or whatever.
facts.
I think that that's so normalized. I think it's so normal. To which, for me, again, the question is, and I said this before, I don't know why it's so looked down upon. I mean, I understand the concept of it, but the widespread, hidden, real relationships shows that it's not something that's stopping ever.
I think it could get messy. And I mean, it's not to say that people haven't met at their job, had a relationship, and it's all good, but in my experience in working in corporate America, then working nonprofit, and then the church, some of the people who were hooking up, they had people at home.
Yeah,
So,
that's true too.
it could get real messy. But the flip side is, I don't know that I think you should be able to make a rule for it in general. I would say maybe certain occupations, but in general, I mean, I don't know.
You'd be
I think
surprised how many supervisors is fucking on the chicks that's in there. I don't care if it's a plant. I don't care if it's a
mm-mm.
teacher. I don't care if it's man. I'm telling you,
At
supervisors
this
get
no, I'm saying at this point, I wouldn't be surprised because it happens all over the place.
Yeah, that's why they have the no fraternization rules. So you can't leverage your position to try and smash.
shit.
That's
That's what they do on the streets. That's why niggas lead with what their position is.
Yeah, but if it's your company, you don't want it to get messy like that. So you'll then have somebody trying to sue saying, well, this person coerced me into this and I was afraid I was going to lose my job. Or
Well,
somebody,
then that means that the only reason that they're trying to ban or that they try to look down upon it is not necessarily because they think that it's bad. It's because they think that there's liability reasons that's attached to it.
yeah, that's exactly what I think. I think it has everything to do with liability. I don't think most people care what you do when you're at home, but they don't want the liability of it. They don't want how messy it can get. Now somebody else is suing because this person got a position, and the only reason they got that position is because they sleeping with such and such. Like you don't want
Well,
to.
then the problem is not the relationships based off of you. What you're saying, the problems is the laws.
Right.
no, well, like that's why it's like fraternization isn't amongst people on the same level. It's amongst somebody above you. Like you can't fraternize with them outside of work.
It's
That's not fair.
Hmm?
That's not fair. Because fraternizing is not just sex. It's not just being in a sexual relationship. It's fraternizing, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, is just having a.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I'm, I
that's
don't think that,
that's just
that's the part that I'm saying. I don't think that that's fair.
no, it's fair because what do it lead
Oh,
to? So say I'm the manager, right? And
yeah.
all the regular co-workers, they like, hey, we about to go over here, we about to have a party. It's a house party though. Like they're saying that the manager can't come to the house party because that's going to put a liability on things that's going on in the workplace. So say
I
for
don't know
instance,
about
at
that.
every
I don't
time
know
they
about
have a
that.
house party, every time they have a house party, it's the one chick, she throwing herself at everybody, and the manager always the one that smashed. Now the manager is showing her leniency during the job. She ain't doing the job. She ain't there to come on time. She don't have to do none of that shit. She getting all these extra hours because of fraternization. This is why they don't want
I
that to
think she
happen.
earned that shit.
What?
She earned it.
No, she didn't.
She did.
No. No,
Nigga,
there's no
networking
earn.
is the main way that you move up. What you think that people get qualified for the next position because they're the best at
Okay.
the job? They
That's
get
what
Okay.
I was
So
just saying
qualified because of,
about Jasmine Crockett. Y'all said
I
no, we
don't
don't
know
know
nothing
that.
about how she got into the game. I couldn't speak on that, but I'm saying that spending time that's literally why people have team outings and stuff like that. Spending time. I'm not even talking about the sexual part. I'm talking about
Nah, the
spending time
manager
with
can't be
people.
there.
Yes, you can.
No, no,
okay.
no.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
Anton.
because he's usually the one paying. He's
Yes,
there
they
because he
do.
paying.
No. But
No, the
that's
manager
different.
There
cannot
are,
be
listen, let
there.
me tell you something.
That's
This is what I
different
know for a
because
fact. There are budgets created for you to take out employees and go and participate with them with your subordinates. There are budgets that are allocated
That happened at all
No,
of my
you
jobs.
skipping the
corporate
part where
America
I
for you
said
to
it's
do
a
that.
house party. That's not
Okay,
a
so let's step outside of the house party. Let's say y'all going to the restaurant. Let's say y'all going out of town. Let's say whatever, right?
Take everybody, not just one.
People, there are budgets for you to have that level of team building or whatever. They're literally Slimmy, you can go out of town on a conference.
yeah, but
You can go out of town on a lot of different things.
you can't start building with somebody one on one.
Yes,
Right.
you
You
can.
need a team for team building.
Yes, you can, Slimmy. That is not fraternizing. That's literally team building.
Mm-mm.
I,
Mm-mm. I see what's going on here.
the reason
I
why
see what's going
Anton
on here. Y'all like to bend the rules.
no, Slimmy, I'm telling you that is normal.
what the reason
Look it
why I
up.
say it's not because it happened here on the police department and it wasn't with a man and a woman. It was with Kathy Lanier and her best friend. So Kathy Lanier Kathy Lanier is now the head person of the NFL, policing, security, and all that. But she used to be the DC chief. She gave her friend when she became chief. She gave her friend who was on the police squad too, but was not qualified to be a chief. She gave her friend the assistant chief job and allowed her not to take any of the chief tests that you have to do, any of that.
Well, see, that's the
And
problem, though, Mika.
but they were
The
fraternizing.
problem,
They
but
were
no,
hanging
no, no, no,
out
no, no.
outside
See,
of work.
no. See, this is where you're wrong, right? Because
She got in trouble for it.
this is where you're wrong. Because the problem isn't that she gave somebody that she knows the position. The problem is that she skirted the rules in order to get her the position. If she didn't have to do the same things that everybody else does in order to get there, that is where the issue comes in. If she didn't have
That's
to
what we
take
was
the
talking
test,
about.
but that's not fraternizing. That's breaking the rules as far as how it is that you
No,
can
but
get
he was
hired.
saying that by them doing that, she gets
Yeah.
better hours. She gets more. She doesn't have to do.
That's not what you
Somebody else has to
said.
get it.
You said that they broke the rules as far as
No.
them not
Slimmy gave
taking
her
the test.
example.
Listen. You said not taking the test, all of that type of stuff. You still have to do all the stuff that you're supposed to do to get the position. That's where the problem came in. Matter of fact, you are encouraged in corporate America that if you can make a recommendation for somebody to get a certain position, they'll give you a bonus for it.
Wait, what
So
that got
They
to do
give
with?
bonuses out for you recommending people that ultimately get hired for certain positions. They literally say it. If you know somebody, if you know this, or you can get them a position, if you can recruit them if they get hired, we will. That is an HR initiative that is in most companies in the Fortune 500. That is not nothing new.
yeah, if they're
What that
qualified,
got to do with
but if they're
fraternization,
not,
though?
hold on, but if they're not qualified, and they don't have any experience and they haven't had, so you can't go
Y'all
from
adding stuff
minimum,
in now, but you're
you
adding
can't go
stuff
from,
in.
huh?
I ain't never mentioned nothing about no.
Yes, we did, because we're talking about fraternizing with employees. If you already work there, then that means that you are already qualified to be there. We're not talking about people that are unknown or people that's not qualified. We're talking
No, we're not
about
talking about
people
people
that
that
you
are
work
unknown.
with, and
Slimmy, that
I'm
wasn't
saying
Slimmy.
that fraternizing, what y'all are defining as you can't fraternize with the employees is encouraged in corporate America, is what I'm saying.
It's not encouraged for you to hang out outside of your little budget. It's not encouraged for you to do
No,
that. It's not.
You
no,
can
not to
do
attend no
anything
house
No,
you
no,
parties.
no, no, no.
absolutely
Hold on,
can.
Slimmy.
You could go to house parties as the manager.
I've seen, let me stop saying house parties. I've seen
Because
managers. I've
that's what he's
seen
talking
That's
about.
what I
managers.
was talking
Personal
about.
I've
relationship.
seen managers pay for stuff with their own money, and then say, you know what, I'm gonna figure out how I can talk to the boss
Anton, this is a
because the
personal
budget is.
relationship. This New Orleans mayor is a personal relationship. That's why we're talking about personal relationships.
Oh my God. All right, y'all. Okay. All right.
And no, you can't say all right, because you said the other day that you can't just say all right.
Because y'all are wrong.
How?
Literally
This is what
can't,
you
because
said. This is what you said.
because you can increase, or first of all, y'all conflating different things. The reason why we're talking about the New Orleans mayor getting in trouble is because they are using public taxpayer dollars. Okay, that is much different than being in a private corporation entity place that is a publicly traded company. The reason why they are going after them is not because they had a relationship, is because of them spending taxpayer dollars in order to try to hide the relationship. That is where the problem comes in. The reason that they went after Fawny Willis is because she was using taxpayer dollars in order to continue to pay this man who was supposed to be a consultant that was also fucking her. When you start using taxpayer dollars, it's a whole nother conversation, because they hold politicians and publicly elected officials to a higher standard. In corporate America, it is absolutely positively encouraged for you to actually spend time, spend money, and they even create extra budgets, and they will expand the budget for you to be able to spend time with your employees or your subordinates.
Yeah,
That's
but
not,
what don't they
it's
pay
not
for?
unreasonable.
But you cannot use that. But you cannot use that to go, okay, let's say you wanted to go to Dubai. You just wanted to take somebody to Dubai.
What do y'all use these extreme examples? We talking about going outside, dinner, all of that type of stuff. Y'all talking about Dubai house parties. What the fuck is y'all talking about, man?
Well, I was saying, well, the reason why I said the house party is because you said that fraternization isn't, you said it's not a problem. And I said, yeah, it is. You can't fraternize, like if you're the manager, you can't fraternize with the regular employees.
You can.
So you can have a whole romantic.
I think fraternization is I think it's not a problem per se. It can become a problem. It could potentially become a problem.
Exactly.
That's what
I was saying.
Harry, that's what he said. I was trying to say that my example came off of Slimmy's example of the house party, because he was saying by the manager hanging at the house party, they are now becoming friends and they're fraternizing on a personal level.
Invite people to their house.
Right, but that happens.
Managers invite subordinates, employees, people to their house and have dinners. They have all kind of stuff at their residences. They own properties up north and they invite them up there in order to spend a weekend fishing. What you define it as a house party literally is something that they do. They don't do it like Kid and Play, but they do. They absolutely have gatherings and house parties and all of that. They 100% invite employees over to their house, and they fraternize in a way that y'all say that they shouldn't be fraternizing and that is frowned upon. It's not frowned upon.
Okay, so in the workplace, fraternization generally refers to relationships, particularly romantic or sexual relationships between employees, especially when there are power imbalances or potential conflicts of interest. It often involves actions or interactions that go beyond typical professional relationships and can negatively impact the work environment. That's what I was talking about.
I'm telling you that what you're reading and what you're defining, it happens regularly and it is encouraged by upper leadership in corporate America.
But you're talking about a team.
I'm not disputing your definition. What I'm saying is it is encouraged, and for y'all to say that it's not, you're wrong.
Nobody said that. You're
No,
talking
we
about
didn't. We're not talking about.
You're talking
We're
about
not talking about the building, and we understand team building.
Finance, taking out
We
everybody.
understand
Team building. It's spending time. They have dinner. They do shit. They spend whole weekends. They up in Vegas fucking gambling with each other. I seen them in a fucking elevator today.
But that's a whole team.
Hey man, no, it's not a team. It was two people. Hey man, hey, listen, after we get done with this conference, you want to meet me at the tables? Hell fucking yeah.
Okay. I've had jobs where both, like, you couldn't deal with the upper, the management could not deal with and then I've also had jobs where we definitely hung out with our manager off the clock. We went
I
out.
have both.
We did girls trips
with your
to the bars. So I think it depends on the place. It's not one way for everywhere.
I seen managers get fired for that shit too because they weren't supposed to do it.
They never got fired. Nobody.
But Molly, if you hang with your manager, right? Do you think you can get the upper hand?
That's the whole goal.
That was the point. That was the point. That's the whole point of the conversation.
It wasn't like a cutthroat type of work dynamic, though. It wasn't like that.
Listen, one of the things that we used to include inside of, I'm gonna get it. Hopefully I can go get some of the files. One of the things that we used to include inside of your review is literally like whether or not you play well with the team and whether you participated outside of corporate America, whether you did the extras and all of that other stuff. That was a part of your review to give you extra points of whether or not you actually qualified to go to the next level or be the manager or stuff like that. That was a part of what what you used to do. Like people would type that because in corporate, usually what happens is this. You don't just get a review. You have to first write your own review of how you think you performed. Your manager then comes behind you and then they say, hey, okay, so this is what we grade you on this. This is what you graded. This is what we graded. And this is what the difference is. Right?
Like the stars?
So, I'm sorry?
Like stars?
Yeah. You can say stars. You can say 1 through 5. You can say whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But my point is that one of the things that we looked for in order to promote people or in order to go to the next level is whether or not they did the things outside of what their regular job description was. And if they went to the team building situations, if they volunteered to go out of town in order to do this and all of that stuff, that is absolutely something that was encouraged in corporate America.
Right.
It's so whether or not you went to the
where you work too.
So when does it become? So here's the thing. Here's the question. When does it become crossing the line? Because every company has that. So when does it become crossing the line? Because if this is the case, then every girl might as well just sleep her way to the top. And now every man.
That's where it becomes crossing the line is when you actually fucking on somebody. But fraternizing itself is not looked down upon.
But why is sleeping with them any different?
Now, if you're asking me my personal opinion versus what happens in corporate America, I'm not necessarily
because if I'm being friendly with you just to get ahead, what is the difference?
What do you mean? What's the difference?
What's the difference?
What is the difference between having a sexual?
You're supposed to be friendly with me to get ahead. Everybody wants to get ahead, no?
No, I don't.
So you're
No,
not supposed to be friendly with the person that you're looking to get ahead
getting
with.
to work with people and have to be friendly is two different things, because that all depends on the organizational fit, right? Yeah,
Working with people and having to be friendly.
yeah, because
No. She's talking.
some jobs don't even
She.
require you to be face to face. Like if you work certain IT job, they don't even see each other in some
But
capacity,
that's not.
depending on where you work.
I think what Mika is saying is like when people are going over the top, like being I would say borderline flirtatious, maybe that type of friendly.
That's called sexual harassment.
I'm not talking about being flirtatious. We talking about being friendly in order to get ahead. That is not looked down upon.
Well, did you mean like more on the lines of flirtation?
You talking to you, Mika?
What I'm saying is, what is the difference from me being overly in your face, all this suggestive stuff, and sleeping with them? What is the difference? Both of them are
Oh
trying
yeah,
to.
she did mean
And
flirtatious.
sleeping
Yeah.
with a person?
What is the difference?
Wait. You said what is the
Yeah,
difference
yes.
between
What is the difference?
being flirtatious and sleeping with somebody?
What's the difference?
It's the action.
No,
It's you sleeping with somebody.
going out. I said going out, flirting, all that stuff encompassed. Like I'm in your face.
It's a huge difference. It's a
So
gulf.
tell me, what's the
The
difference?
ocean's difference.
So say what's the difference?
Because you
It's
sleeping
the
with somebody.
action. Yeah, it's the action. Now it's
Okay,
the
so when you
action.
sleep with them, what's happening?
You letting them nut on you. I don't know.
But you're getting, but you're getting
What do you
somewhere.
mean?
You're getting
I mean,
somewhere
what are
by
we
doing
saying? What are we
what? You're
talking
getting
about?
somewhere by blurring the lines. You're getting
That's
Oh,
somewhere.
I see what
that's
Mika's
not
saying.
no.
Mika saying why isn't the
That's not
flirtation
blurring the
blurred
lines.
lines?
That's not blurring the lines. That's stepping over that bitch and stomping on it.
No.
No, she said why isn't it
Flirting can be
considered
left
blurring
up.
the lines when you being
Flirting
If I
can be
come to
flirtatious?
your
left up.
house and get drunk with you, and I'm not
Flirting,
sleeping with you, I come and get drunk
flirting
with
can
you
be
and get
left up
drunk,
to
and I chill at your
interpretation.
house. That's a problem as well.
Flirting can be left up to interpretation. Me fucking you is a completely different conversation. That's not up to interpretation. He fucked you.
Again, going to your
What
house,
are we talking about?
because what I'm saying
No,
is
she
going to
she
your
says
house.
what's the blurred lines? The blurred lines should be before
Going
that.
to your house. If you invite me to your house and you do all types of, you want to toss them back and drink and all this other stuff. Nobody else comes and does this, but I do, right? And I do all this stuff. I get drunk and whatever else you do to get ahead. But the other girl then goes and sleeps with you to get ahead.
It's a big difference.
Why is either allowed? Why am I
Yeah,
allowed
Because
to
you
come to
said
your house?
no.
Mika's she
That wasn't the question. The
But what
question
I'm
is
saying is,
what's the
it
difference?
blurs the line when it's personal like that.
But Mika, neither
It's
one.
a big difference between sleeping with somebody, letting the chick give you some head and top you off.
Okay, well,
Versus flirting. It's a big difference.
obviously it's not because again, somebody because they were just friends got to be in a
What?
position.
somebody sleeping
Wait.
in
Hold on.
my
I
bed.
I can't be the only one that says that it's a big difference between actually sleeping with somebody and flirting, which can be left up to
No,
interpretation.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, so it's okay. So you're saying it's okay to go to somebody's house and get fallen down drunk, do whatever, long as you don't sleep with
Do you
them.
see what you do, Mika? You use
No,
these
that's what I'm asking. I'm
extreme
asking the
examples.
question of difference.
You can go over somebody's house, get blackout drunk. Like, why we can't use regular examples?
I did.
Yeah,
I used
because
to police chief.
fraternizing doesn't
I used to
necessarily
police
mean
chief.
romance.
These regular
It
examples.
could just be friendship.
I
Frat.
Yeah,
Carrie, I just used
it's
that.
really any type
He
of
said
relationship.
no. I just used that. He said no. I used the police chief. An actual real story.
Well, that's because she didn't already have the job. That's what he was saying was the
He's
difference between
This lady
Yeah,
doesn't either. That's what I said.
no,
No,
Anton's talking about people who already work
right.
there.
No, she already worked there. She was a police officer. She wasn't a
Why you
chief.
getting so emotional?
Her
I'm
friend
not
worked
getting
there.
emotional.
We just
Her friend worked there too.
Crash Out King. Yes.
Okay, that wasn't my understanding.
So her name was Police Officer Grooms. Her friend Kathy Lanier became chief.
Wait. Give me a second. What are we talking about?
So we went back to her example of her friend getting the lady that she's talking about getting her friend a job, and why that's fraternization.
Because they were cool.
Girl already
She said, "Oh, I'm gonna skip over the people that are actually meant to be chief because they have worked their way up, and I'm gonna give my girl the chief's position. She's a police officer."
Oh yeah, that's foul.
That should be an isolated event, though. That doesn't reflect all.
No, I use that to ask about what we were talking about.
Because like even like you see doctors and nurses always out together, and the doctors are usually the bosses of the nurses, and they're always at bars.
Right, but
they
they're
do
So
stuff
in your
together.
example,
like
in your example, Mika,
it's not uncommon.
But they're
I would
already in a
consider
position of the supervisor and the boss. You just said that. So she's already working that. This is the person, what I'm asking is, this is the person that isn't under this person.
So
they're on the job, but they're getting a position that they haven't even worked for. At least in that position, what you're talking about with the nurse, they already work as a nurse, whether they have that supervisor or the other.
So I would say in your example,
I just want y'all to know that doctors aren't the bosses of nurses. That's not how that works.
They still be running the show.
It's her example. Who cares?
I'm just saying they're not.
So Mika,
nurses work under doctors.
So the nurse don't listen to the doctor. They don't take the doctor's orders. They're not their superior.
I said they're not their boss, is what I said.
They're not their
I said they're not their
superior.
boss.
I was raised by a nurse. I'm not about to have this argument. You think you know
work
everything.
in collaboration with one
Quentin,
another.
you
No,
think respectfully,
you
you think you know everything.
I do.
But yes, they do take the orders from the doctors. I'm sorry. The doctor tells them what to do, they go do it.
It's not their boss. It's not their boss.
Well, they're telling them what to do.
It's not their boss.
Okay, you are so right. You're right about everything.
I rebuke.
It all has to be how you say it, the way you want it to be.
Oh, we let him derail the conversation.
Hold on.
You know what he was trying to do.
Hold on 1 second. Carrie, what was you about to say?
I was going to say in Mika's example, I would say that was a case of one, like Anton said, she broke the rule of how somebody's supposed to get a promotion. But I would say that would be one of the potential downsides or negative sides of fraternization is people probably are more easily it's easier for them to make a bad decision. It's easier for them to do what you're describing.
That was my only point of bringing that up.
So I mean, listen,
if you're fraternizing, I might be more obliged to give you the job, even though.
But that's nepotism more than fraternizing.
So I mean, I think because based off of what the meaning of fraternization is, whether it's a romantic relationship, a personal relationship, friendship, close business relationship, that enters into a potential danger zone of judgment. But I also don't think it necessarily means that will happen. So because like in all of the jobs that I've been in, those types of relationships, friendships were developed. But I also saw where people didn't know how to draw the line. So
that's what we talking about.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But I think to Anton's point though, it's still it's a slippery slope because it is in certain environments. I can't say all. I'll just speak of the places I've worked. It was encouraged in that you hung out with, you had social time, if you will, with the people you worked with, and more often than not, it included higher ups.
I think a lot of things are a slippery slope, right? Like with police officers, they have you're not supposed to sleep with each other, right? It's paramilitary. So you're not supposed to sleep with each other. However, you have stuff like police week and things where all of them are drinking and all of them are together. right? And so I think all of it's a slippery slope. That's why I use that example, because I'm saying, where do you draw the line? Because it's all blurred,
You're
whether
right.
you're
'Cause
having
my first
sex
social,
or not. That's all I was asking.
the first holiday party I went to, I was like, "Oh, we can drink with each other." Like I was shocked, but apparently it was like, "Carrie, yeah, you can." So I mean, I agree with you. I just it still happens, but yeah, it is a slippery slope. And I will say this: a lot of, well, I can't say a lot of, but I have experienced where some of the people who are higher ups, they throw little hooks at people, and they throw it in a way where it's like, I'm gonna put something out there, and if she bites, like, it's enough to where if she's interested, she'll bite, but it's not so much to where if she's not
I become
interested, I look
liable.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
But then,
I ran
okay.
into that. I was like,
Now
whoa.
take your point. Then, if the person doesn't want to bite, right now, you say, okay, well, I'm not going to give her the job
You
because,
can't prove that I didn't give
Well,
you the job
right?
because
But
you
that's
didn't
my
bite.
point of,
well, no, I'm talking about you're already there though. So there's no promotions on the table. There's no I'm trying to get the job. It's we're already working. Like, there's no upward movement at this moment. So yeah. I mean, it's definitely a messy situation. It could be a messy situation, I should say. So mm-mm.
So y'all don't basically some of y'all don't believe in what you would define as fraternizing on a job, right?
I used to fraternize all the time.
What the fuck you talking about there, Sonny?
I was
What are
always
you
at all the
talking about,
parties.
Sonny?
you didn't ask the personal. You just said, was it right
Yeah,
or
we
wrong?
weren't
And
talking about
you
personal.
asked about them.
Man,
That's
Yeah.
I'm done
different.
with y'all, bro. I'm done.